So now we're going to divert just a little bit, go back to business. So I want to know, what is the secret to building a business that grows sustainably without sacrificing your personal life?
Well, it goes back to a lot of things we've talked about, and I love an acronym. I think it's easy to remember. And for me, it's stability, but actually it's all built on the word stable.
Mm,
And this is really for business owners that have employees. And when I say employees, I mean contractors. You have anybody in your business doing things for you. It could be you and an admin, a virtual assistant. It doesn't matter. You have to build a level of stability. And it's actually very simple. Why this matters is because when you put these things in place, the business starts to run and get momentum, and you aren't as like in the center of it, which is amazing. Because when you're the center of it, then you're having to do all things
mhm.
and you'll have no free time. But instead, again, really loving the divinity in everyone, you'll see it. So, stable is the word we're working with here. The first thing is seen. So, seen meaning that you provide a safe space for your employees, your contractors to voice concerns, to give feedback, and you act on it. So, it's one thing to say, "Hey, Doug, tell me about what's going wrong." And you're like, "I don't like the coffee in the break room." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so terrible. I'll get that looked at." And then the coffee continues to be terrible. Well, you really didn't see that person, did you? So, really seeing them and understanding what they need to do their job well is part and parcel of it. And it's really that simple. The next one is trust. And this one, I said this before, trust is so important because you've hired these people. And whether, again, it's a contractor or it's somebody that works with you, as an employee, when you hire someone, you are saying, "I trust my business with you. I trust that you are the talent that you say you are." But we don't ever show it that way. Most of us micromanage. And
Mhm.
we're like, "Oh, do it this way and this way and this way," right? Which, by the way, when you hire somebody, I teach a 90-day onboarding process. It sounds intense. It's not. So that people feel supported. But what I want you to do is trust that these people are going to do an exceptional job, and trust that they have everything trust that you've given them everything they need, those SOPs, that guidance, the verbal feedback, and also let them fail. It's
Mhm.
okay. As long as you are not a doctor, most likely the things that happen
Yeah,
in your business aren't killing people.
right.
So let them fail. And then another thing about trust is honor your word. So if you want your team to show up at a certain time, you better be there. If you want your team to act a certain way, you better be doing it too. All of that builds trust. The next one is ability. So trusting their ability and letting them run their zone of genius. So again, you hired them because maybe they're good at marketing and I'm a supply chain person, or maybe they're really good at organizing things, or maybe they're really good. I have somebody on my team that does our data analytics. Oh, shout out to Aaron Laircy. You are amazing. Um, get out of the way, trust in their ability, and let their divinity show through with that. And owning that ability and saying, "That is our ability on this team. Let me make sure that I'm supporting you and everything you need, but you are the zone of genius for this." So I think that's incredibly important. The next one is boundaries. So as a small business owner, this is your baby. And I don't know about you, but my baby cries sometimes at 2 a.m. and I'm thinking about it, right? And I'm
Mhm.
loving it. Your employees and contractors are not doing this, nor should they. It's fine.
Mhm.
But we have to honor boundaries with ourselves as well. If something actually happened at 2 a.m. in my business, I'm sleeping. I'm not answering that. But we need to give our team boundaries and be okay with that. So, clear communication on how long a task is going to take, that's boundaries. So, if I'm like, "Oh, Doug, this is going to take 5 minutes," when it's like a 5 hour project, that's really misalignment of boundaries. And then also making yourself available on their time. So my team is all remote. And so it's very important for me to know when people are working, just so I can say, hey, I'm available if you need me, if you want to jump on a huddle together, if you want to do a quick Zoom meeting, I am here to support you. That matters. I don't want to just throw tasks and then again, going back to that ridiculous 2 a.m., but it happens.
Mhm.
Somebody, you get an email at 10 o'clock at night. Oh, this work you did for me isn't great and I need you to fix it. Well, where were you when they were working? You
Mhm.
just made this harder for them. You're not honoring those boundaries. Um, and then loving your team. And the L is for love, which I think is a very intense word that we're all afraid to use in the business world. I do not mean hugging people. I do not. I actually mean loving people in the language that matters the most to them. Some of your teammates really need that FaceTime.
Mm.
Some of your teammates need, maybe a little more money or a
Mm.
gift. You will be shocked at how a $5 gift card can just blow somebody's mind. A candy bar that maybe you send in the mail, something like that, but again, it has to be their love language. And then of course, those words of affirmation. I've had people on my team that are not words of affirmation. And it was so helpful to know that, because then I wasn't sending them a note and telling them all the great things, because that's like falling flat.
Mhm.
I was sending them a gift card, or I was showing them, here's a little bonus at Christmas or something like that. And then finally, for the stable team and the way to actually make your life easier to have this work-life balance is enjoyment.
Mm.
Enjoyment matters so much, because you should not have to go to work and not enjoy what you do. You should make a place that is fun for your clients, your teammates, and most importantly, yourself. Because if you hate what you do, that trickles down into your family, everything, absolutely
Mhm.
everything. And so I want you to have fun. I want it to be fun. I actually have a sign that's sitting right here that says, "This is so fun." Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, not today. But normally it's fine. In fact, it usually snaps me out of it and reminds me, oh yeah, I chose this life.
Mm.
I get to do this. These problems are here because of things I created. And I am so lucky to have that and have a team around me, and really enjoy the fact that the team that I've built of just amazing human beings. I feel so blessed. Oh yeah, this is fun. So that enjoyment factor is really important. So again, in order to have this balance, I want you to have a team that feels seen, that feels trusted, that you honor their abilities and you get out of the way, that you honor their boundaries, that you love in the way that they want to be loved, and that you create a place of enjoyment.